Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. So we're doing a video on I would say trying to fix a couple of things with my Infiniti CVT issues. So here's the history on these CVT issues. I bought this car used at 125,000 miles. By the way, I'm going to give you guys some tips during this video on how you guys can, I would say, confidently figure out your CVT fluid level correctly. And I would like to say that that is possibly one of the most important things as far as having a CVT transmission run the best it can run. So basically, I bought this car, this QX60 hybrid at 125,000 miles. As far as the CVT transmission is concerned, there was absolutely no history of any issues with the CVT transmission. I know because this was 100% dealership serviced throughout the whole entire history, and I actually do have the whole entire history of this vehicle. And CVT issues wasn't one of those things that came up, and I definitely looked at this the history of this vehicle thoroughly because I had a history of all the maintenance that was done, and it had no CVT issues, and I definitely called the dealership about it. But in any case, let's get back to what I did. As far as this car is concerned, I really didn't have any issues with it, but it had 125,000 miles on it. Didn't have any dealership information about the CVT fluid being changed, and I was a little bit worried about that. It drove fine. I did get it over the winter, and one of the things that came up was at one point it was maybe like, I don't know, 30 degrees out in what is it, January, February, maybe like February or March. I know it was kind of cold out, but I drove it for a whole entire day, and at the end of the day, it had some issues where I pressed on the pedal, and it would take like a couple of seconds before it actually engaged. Did it twice, and that actually gave me some trepidations on the CVT transmission, knowing that it has a notorious history as far as Nissan CVT transmission concerned. There's a notorious history of the CVT issues and CVT transmissions going bad, etc., etc. So I was like, since it was still in the middle, close to, it was still winter, it was cold out. I really didn't want to do any kind of CVT maintenance on it, as far as changing the fluid and stuff like that, because of how complicated it was and stuff like that. I didn't want to take it to the dealership to get a service. I did not want to do that, and I did not want to take it to a shop to get it serviced. I do things myself. I like doing things myself, and I was definitely gonna do it myself, but it just took a little bit of time because it was very, very cold out, and doing that kind of stuff in the cold is not an easy thing. But I did drive it a little while with that. It didn't come back for maybe, I don't know, about a month. Then there were a couple of days where the weather got a lot warmer, and got into the 80s, I think, and I was in some stop and go traffic in the 80s, and when the temperature was really warm, I noticed that when it stopped, slowed down to a crawl, and then a stop, and then I pressed on the accelerator to go. Sometimes it would take a split second for it to engage, and when it does, I'd get like a little pushback, and you could feel like a hard shifting from a stop to first gear. But after that, there's no issues as long as it's not stop and go. Now, I did watch a couple of videos on that, and somebody said there was somebody who did a video on these CVT issues and said that it was maybe some kind of software issue. But to be honest with you, in my mind, I thought maybe the CVT transmission needed to be changed out. I didn't know it was changed out. At that point, I knew that I would have to change the CVT transmission fluid. I put out a video on some tips on my experience with that. I changed it out as best as I could. As far as measuring it was concerned, wasn't a complete expert on it, because the whole system, there was no dipstick. You'd have to figure out when to close, when to put the bolt back on, when the overflow tube once it stopped leaking out of the overfill hole. So anyway, I did that. I did change it out, and I drove it a little while, and thought that things were good until the weather got a lot warmer. And what I mean a lot warmer is like maybe over the last couple of months, 2 months, May, June, and I noticed that once it hit like 80 degrees, I started having these issues where it was hard shifting from a stop and a go, stop and a go, stop and a go, hard shifting. And I noticed that it didn't do that early in the morning when I first drive it, but after I drive it, it starts doing that, and it starts doing that often enough where it would keep on doing that every time I would be in some kind of heavy traffic, stop and go, and sometimes it's not even heavy traffic. I'll come to a stop, and then when I start to accelerate again, it would keep on doing that. So stuff like that really, I thought maybe a couple of things. I thought it might be the throttle body. I attempted to change the throttle body, or at least try to clean the throttle body itself, but I could. This being a hybrid, the throttle body is situated in a way where it's very difficult to get to, and I never got a chance to actually get it out. Didn't get a chance to actually get to the throttle body to clean it. So I'm trying to figure out what else I did besides that. All right, so wasn't able to do that. I did attempt that, put a couple of videos up, I think, on it. Wasn't able to do that, but I thought to myself, maybe I misjudged the amount of fluid that was in that's in the CVT. Maybe I misjudged the level, because I took out total drainage was about 3.75 quarts of CVT fluid. And if I remember right, I bought 5 bottles, and what I did was I put in, I believe, 4 bottles. I put in 4 bottles, and when I did the overflow drain to get it to the right level, I believe I took out maybe a quarter of that. So there might have been like 3.75, 3.5 quarts. No. Yeah. Wait. How many did I take out? I'm trying to figure out exactly how much I took out. 3.75. You know what? I believe, whatever the number is, I believe I put a whole entire bottle more, 1.25 quarts more than what came out. All right. This is a while ago, and I know I put in at least a bottle. It's got at least a bottle and a quarter, maybe like a bottle, an extra quart that I put in. And when I drained out, it might have been like a little bit less than that. But in any case, if you guys are looking at this video right now, and this is my attempt to actually get a correct reading on the CVT level, and as you guys can see, I tried to do a temperature gauge test just to get, because it's hot out. It's you know, it was in the 90s. I drove it and parked it and had to wait like about an hour for it to cool down to the exact level. When I took a reading of the casing, it was around 135 degrees, but once I let loose as far as the drainage concerned, it was a little bit lower. It was right around like 115, 112, somewhere around that area. And if you guys want some tips on how to do this, if you guys don't know, like if you guys watch this video, obviously you guys are watching this video if you guys are listening to me right now, but the tube, there's an overfill hole, and there's a tube that goes up there, and that tube, it reaches the right level, it's not gonna drain. So basically, what you want to do is you want to have your car on, and it's gonna keep on draining until it reaches the right level. But you want a fine stream. The reason why you want a fine stream coming out from there is because the transmission fluid pump is constantly pumping fluid in and out throughout the whole entire system. And I believe that you're not, with the vehicle on, you're not going to get it to a point where it's going to not have any CVT fluid coming out. And you want to do this at 100, from anywhere from like 98 to 115, 106, 17, 118 max Fahrenheit. And when you want to close it up is when it comes out as a fine stream of CVT fluid. And I actually made sure to double check on the amount of CVT fluid that comes out, as far as how much of it is coming out. It actually almost stopped to a certain point, but obviously the CVT fluid, the pump itself is pumping fluid into the system, and you're going to get some splashing, and that splashing is going to result in maybe some CVT fluid going over the tube. And I think you're gonna always get some kind of stream, a little bit of a CVT fluid coming out. So it's almost impossible to gauge at a non-stop with the CVT fluid coming out. And this is just my personal thought on it. Me watching a couple of videos and stuff like that, I believe that's how it's done. And if you guys know any different, definitely drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know if it's different. It might help me out, it might help everybody else out. Maybe there's a different way to do it. Maybe you don't need to have your vehicle on. I did a mistake of actually having the vehicle off and doing it, and it did overflow to an absolute stop. But then I realized, you know, you probably need to see the transmission fluid on, because it's got to go through the system, right? If it's going through the system, obviously a couple of things that are going to change the fluid level is, you know, how much is in the pan versus when it's off versus it's on, etc., etc. But in any case, I turn it back on. I empty out another quart, and overall what came out was maybe in excess of maybe half a quart that came out. So overall, during this whole entire procedure, I took out maybe half a quart extra CVT fluid out of the system. Now, I'm doing this after the fact, a day or two after the fact. Now, I haven't driven it much. It hasn't been absolutely freezing outside. I mean, it hasn't been absolutely hot outside. Like it's in the 90s the last couple of days. So I can't actually test to see whether this worked or not. I'm definitely going to put up a video if it does work, but I'm not going to be able to know that until the next couple of days with me just constantly driving it in stop and go traffic, etc., etc. So that's my whole entire CVT experience, fluid change experience. But if you guys want to do a good, you know what, I can't actually tell you guys that, you know, what's a good measurement is measure how much you take out and then fill it up to refill it to the amount that you took out. I'm not quite sure if I could tell you that, because that whole CVT fluid could change if the radiator, the amount of there could change if the radiator was changed out, or the CVT transmission fluid was changed out. I mean, obviously, if you had it straight from the straight brand new from the factory, from the dealership, and that was the exact amount of fluid that was in the system, then you could actually do that. But it's you know, that's the complications of it. Outside of the other complications is trying to figure out whether you have the right amount of CVT fluid in the system. Anyway, you probably think I'm babbling about this, but if you're actually working on this on your own, it could be a bit of a mystery as far as an exact calculation of, you know, what the exact amount of CVT fluid that's within the margin of where it's supposed to be with the vehicle running, etc., etc. In any case, I hope this has helped you guys out. If you guys need to figure out CVT issues and stuff like that, hopefully it does. This is my own personal experience with the new CVT leveling system that's in these vehicles. This is a 2014. There used to be a dipstick where you could just dip it in, take it out. You see the CVT fluids within a certain range. Easiest thing in the world, apparently. These manufacturers do not want you to figure any of this out for yourself, and they want more money. They want you going to the dealership and spending more money, etc., etc. This is a cash cow for them, and I'm pretty sure they set it up that way where it's just makes it harder for anybody to service their own vehicle. But in any case, I'm going to give you guys an update on how my car is running. If you guys have any of your own personal experiences with this, anything that you want to add to this, definitely like drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know. Let us all know if anything I've said is you think should be in any kind of dispute, as far as, you know, whether stuff that I've said is not what is recommended by Nissan or Infiniti, etc., etc. Drop a comment in case it'll help everybody out. It might help somebody else out. Please subscribe. Please give me a thumbs up. Appreciate your time, guys. Take care.